What do you got up your sleeve today, man?
Iconic men drive iconic cars.
That's a fair statement.
I mean, I honestly have.
Is that why you drive a Volkswagen?
That is the meanest and most hurtful thing that I have ever heard.
Real cars, real guys, and real talk. Live from the gearbox at Unique Classic Cars. Welcome to Motorhood.
This car was driven by one Reginald Jackson.
Is that right?
Reggie? Are you kidding me?
You're kind of like a Reggie Jackson guy too, right?
You know, and don't at me, and I know they're probably going to want to, but I'm a huge New York Yankees fan, right?
You just did it to yourself.
He was my hero when I was growing up. Of course, it all goes back to that October night in 1977, hitting 3 home runs in the World Series.
Yeah.
But Reggie loves cars, and he had growing up, he loved Chevrolets, right? He couldn't afford a lot. His first vehicle that he purchased was actually a 50.
Sure.
Right? And then he had a 49 Ford in there, but his dream car was a 55 Chevy. And then he fell in love with the Bel Airs, obviously upscale stuff. But when this came in, and Dan told me, he goes, this was owned by Reggie Jackson. I was like, well, I got to make sure about that.
Yeah.
So I started digging around, but it is 1956 Bel Air. And, you know, we talk about the Tri-5, you know, 55, 56, and 57. And I think is what really made the cars special. Obviously the design, right? And by the way, that was all inspired by Cadillac, wasn't it? Weren't they the ones who pushed that aviation stuff? Aren't they?
Yeah.
I mean, they really
Harley Earl had a lot to do with a lot of the aviation.
Yeah, it was beautiful cars, and they wanted the design, and that's what he liked. And you had told me you do this. When he was young, he would like to just sit out, watch cars pass, and then pick them out.
Yep.
And then talk about which ones they were. So.
Exactly.
But this is a cool car, man. And this is the introduction, and you were telling me about this earlier, of the V8.
Yeah. 1955, of course, marked the first year for Chevy with their small block V8. This one's a 56, of course, but so under the hood, you've got the 265 V8. Come on, now you can't be a Tri-5 guy not know how to open the hood.
I know it's here.
Boy, the suspense is interesting, isn't it?
I just had it here. There we go.
Well, while George is trying to figure that out. All right, 265 V8 under the hood on this one. It's had, I think, one repaint in its life, but other than that, the car is it's not a restored car.
Right.
So as you can see, I mean, that's still original paint and such on the engine block, valve covers, etc. So this car's got a factory power steering setup. Now notice that, so it's belt driven off of the alternator, and so the shaft right here runs all the way through and also powers the power steering pump.
No kidding.
So, you know, modern day and even late, you know, a lot of power steering has a separate pump and pulley right here.
Right.
But they did it linear right with the alternator. So,
you know, the struggle I always have, if you're going to buy a vehicle, do you buy one of the newer ones that you think is going to drive a little bit better, or do you drive a classic like this? The confusion never ends. One of the things I love about these vehicles, when you look under the hood,
it's painfully simple.
Yes, right, it is.
Dare I say, the master cylinder. One line coming out, okay, that feeds the entire car. So that's why, one of the reasons why a lot of times when people, as they upgrade these cars, they'll put a normal looking vacuum-based master cylinder. So this is manual brakes, no assist, single pot, single line that runs to a block underneath the car, and then of course the fluid goes from there. So things were extremely simple back then.
I love it. I love it when they have the original look under the hood like that. That's a fantastic car. And again, owned by Reggie Jackson.
Right.
To me, that's just worth it right there.
Oh, it's fantastic.
Do you think we could get him in here and go for a ride with us?
I doubt it. You know, it's cool that he had it, but you know, the guy's had hundreds and hundreds or maybe even thousands of cars over the years.
They say that he has had, at any given time, he holds about 100.
So if you look closely at the serial number here at the VIN tag, I don't know if the camera will pick that up, but you can tell on any Tri-5 Chevy, just for those that don't know, the VIN will either start with a letter or 2 letters. So if the first letter is a V, that means this car was born a V8 car. Okay, if there's not a letter, if the V isn't there, that means it was originally a 6-cylinder car. Okay, and then the second digit, if the second digit is an A, that means it was a 150 trim.
Sure.
If it's a B, that means it was a 210. C means Bel Air, and D would be for a sedan delivery wagon.
I did not know
Okay,
that.
and then the rest of the serial number. So now this car does not have the V on it. So this car probably was a 6-cylinder car originally that someone put the 265 in after the fact, which of course is a great upgrade
Right,
over the
it's
6-cylinder.
error
So
correct,
yeah, this one just came in. It's literally hasn't even been washed yet or anything. So hopefully you guys can look past the little bit of dust and so on. But this is a great opportunity to get into a Bel Air convertible. A lot of these cars are 6 figures now.
Right.
This one's only going to be 79. Since you're on the Tri-5 thing, can you show the viewers where do you put the fuel in this car?
Oh God, you were going to try to stump me on a Cadillac a few episodes back on that. Where is?
Jeez, I thought you actually knew. This isn't pre-set up, by the way.
This is not set
I thought
up.
he knew. So this, hey, on the fly, I like it. I hope all of our 56 Bel Air fans are out there giggling right now, watching him try to figure this out.
Where is it?
Well, I can tell you it's not in the back seat.
They're not high. I mean, they're not. It's not there.
Maybe you want to close your eyes and use the back of your hands.
Oh yeah, that worked real well for me last time, didn't it? Is it? I.
You're kind of touching the car inappropriately. It's kind of creeping me out, man.
Feeling it up. I honestly do not know.
It's on this side. I'll give you that clue.
It's how well is that hidden?
Very.
And it's not in here anywhere.
I didn't say that.
I cannot for the life of me.
Oh, boom.
Look at that.
Holy cow. Yeah, right there, buddy.
That is cool.
And there she is.
That is cool. I mean, that's absolutely disguised.
Disguised. There
That
you go.
is.
All right. Didn't mean to put you on the spot.
That,
but
I love it.
I thought you knew it.
I would have bought that.
Makes for
brought
good
it home,
cinema.
Pulled it into a gas station, be like, now how the hell do I put fuel in this
Yeah,
thing?
right. Are we going to talk about this monster?
Yes. To me, this is, and I've said this before, when we do our lives sometime during lunch, my favorite year Chevrolet, 55. It just looks mean, right?
Oh, yeah.
And they resto mod well because they are very receptible to modifications.
Oh, there's, the aftermarket for these cars is absolutely impressive. So I think you can actually build one from scratch if you wanted to.
Really?
I mean, it's that crazy, yeah.
But this is a great example, and when you get a good look inside, this has been modified. I mean, I love original cars, but if you're gonna go street crazy, this car is set.
Yeah, this thing is, she's mean.
Let's take a look under the hood, because this, when you talk about swapping out engines, because I see a lot of them, 350s, which didn't come along until, what, 67?
Sounds about right. Yep, I think that's right.
That is an absolute monster.
Do you remember what it is?
That is an LS7.
LS7, folks. That is a beast.
Willwood disc brakes.
Yep.
I mean, the whole thing is just absolutely set to blow.
Power steering, power brakes, of course, air conditioning, Holley fuel injection, and and the sound to match. This thing absolutely sounds like a monster. You guys will have to fire this up and give it. We won't do it right now, but we'll have to splice it in and get that in there. It's awesome.
Yeah, the girls up front would not appreciate that at the moment.
This is true.
This is an example, though, of these 3 years, 55, 56, and 57. I mean, you know that I'm more into the 60s and 70s.
Yes.
But these 3 cars, to me, obviously hold a very special place.
Yeah.
In American
what's
history.
cool, like this, one of the little things you can do with these cars is there's a bunch of different companies that make aftermarket gauges that fit in the original spot, so you don't have to cut the dash up or anything like that. And those gauges, they're clean, they're fresh, they work with, they're plug and play. So a lot of them, like this car's gonna have a computer running the fuel injection and that sort of thing. They plug in, and they're accurate, they're backlit, they're beautiful, and they still fit in the factory, so you don't have to mess with the dash. I love that kind of stuff. Tasteful upgrades that just make the car better.
And if you have a 55 and you were looking to do mods like this, we can do that.
Yeah, very, very nicely well done car. And as you know, with black, the paint and body work has to be primo, or it looks like crap, especially in black. This thing is as straight can be.
It's my favorite color, and I cannot figure that out. I'm like, why? It doesn't matter what car it is. I love black. And Jason, our body shop manager, is just incredible. He's like a magician, right? He really is. If you guys want anything done, he does incredible work. But this is a great example of taking one and making it a street rod. right? Just absolutely crazy car.
That's a big boy car right there, and that if you don't respect that car, it will kick your ass.
It will.
Yeah.
The most iconic 57. Why do you think that is? Why do you think 57 Chevrolets, among the average guy, why does that one always get the chatter?
The Americana, and think about it, 55 came out, that was a brand new body, brand new V8, all that stuff in 55. So think about it, 55, 56, now the car's had a couple of years of being out there. So the popularity is growing. Then 57 is the last year of that first series Bel Air, right?
Right.
And the bigger fin, the fins were starting to come in 57, not just in GM, but across the other lines and Chrysler and Dodge and things like that too. So I think between the fin, last year of that style, a couple years of popularity building, and 57 has become an American icon.
Let's take a quick look at a 57 we've got parked outside. This going back to more of that original look, but not the original motor, as I mentioned.
Correct.
Yeah, as I mentioned earlier, it has the, there it is, 350.
Right.
We see these, I mean, you see them all the time, and there's the FiTech.
Yep, so that FiTech fuel injection, and remember I was talking about the master cylinder on the other car? So this is the aftermarket one that people put in. Now you've got a vacuum booster, 2-pot brake, so that if you do have a line brake in the front, let's say, you still got brakes in the rear, one of the reasons for it. And plus you've got the block here that diverts the pressures and everything. So this one is, on the outside, other than the wheels, it's 100% stock appearing. But yeah, now this one's power steering, power brakes. It's very driver friendly. It's had a few other things done to it, tubular A-arms. It's got custom exhaust, the wheels, it's got disc brakes installed. And to me, what's cool about this car, and 25 years ago, people would wrinkle their nose at a 4-door.
Right.
But as the 2-doors kept getting more and more pricey, because that, popularity and things like we were just talking about, all of a sudden the 4-doors are like, well, that car is still pretty cool, and it looks similar, and it drives the same, and it feels the same inside. Let's start building 4-doors. And that's what a lot of people started doing 25 years ago or more.
Right.
And now, George, you look at these, like that Bel Air, the convertible in there is, $79,000. That black car is probably somewhere around 6 figures. You can get into a 57 Chevy with all the creature comforts right here for under 30 grand.
So there it is. I mean, it's 50. That's all three of them. 56,
5, 6,
55,
7.
and 57.
See?
That's the Tri-5. That's why we have to get together sometime and watch American Graffiti.
So on this one, it does have the V and the C. So pop quiz, what does that mean? The first 2 digits are V and C. What's that mean?
Well, V, it was a V8.
V means it was born a V8.
And the C, what would we just talked about that with the Bel Air that was inside?
C means it's a real Bel Air.
Real Bel Air.
That's right.
Tri-5 is about as American as it gets. If Reggie Jackson wants one, by the way, that was his favorite car, was a 55.
Yep.
So 56, he had the Bel Air, and he had a huge collection. Camaros, Chevelles, Corvettes. He's a big Chevy guy. Mm-hmm. Again, so he plays baseball, he's a superstar, and he likes Chevrolet. That's as American as it gets.
All right, we're going to go upstairs, put a wrap on this?
We got to. We have to, for sure.
Right.
And then we'll tease something we have to look at another time.
Oh, yeah.
A vehicle being owned by an American icon, and I think I know the answer to this. Is that enough to make you buy it?
Depends on the icon.
Right.
And, maybe we'll talk about that next time.
We do. We have, well, to me, it doesn't get more iconic, especially with the culture and the guys that we're talking to, than the individual that that we will address in the future here.
Yeah. In fact, I'll give a little tease for those, if you're watching this on YouTube. The clue that we're going to talk about next week is in frame right now. That's all I'm going to say.
In frame.
It's in frame right now. If you're watching on YouTube, the clue is there. An Easter egg, I think some of the kids call it these days.
That is. So now they're going to be examining, right? And trying to find out which car is it. Because every now and then one rolls through here that's been owned by somebody famous. And when Dan told me, he said, I got a 56 Bel Air that was owned by Reggie Jackson. When I was growing up, there was nobody bigger to me, right? So that's the kind of draw with that. Because the 56 Bel Air, I love them, beautiful cars, wouldn't normally be the one, even in that era, that I would pick. But I would take that car because Reggie Jackson owned it.
Right.
Right?
No, I get that. I
It
get
is,
that.
and we actually, I don't. It's gone now, but we had a Lincoln that was owned by Jackie Wilson of Lonely Teardrops fame.
That's correct.
The R&B hip hop stuff. Yeah. It's just like
we'll open that. We'll maybe open that box up on next time and talk about some of the celebrity cars that we've had through here, and maybe we should touch on this more often. Again, if you're on YouTube or on any of the Audible platforms, send us a message or let us know what you'd like to hear about too. But I get asked a lot of time, what's the market like? What's the market doing? What's hot? What's soft? What's dropping? What's going crazy? And when the Dodge Hellcats came out and the Challengers and the SRTs and all of those, I mean, they were hot, and they're still extremely popular. But what happened is, and to boil it down simply, is supply and demand, right? So in the last year or two, Dodge has been, we're going EV, and it's the end of the V8, and oh my gosh, everything's going to be electric, right? So then they started doing these special edition last call, wide body, red eye, all these different names and all this stuff, right? And everybody and their brother thought that they bought a collector car. And they are collectible, don't get me wrong.
Right.
But they are not low production, most of them. I mean, if you drill it down to like what color the shift knob is or something, you can get a 1 of 5 or something like that. But
sure.
The point I'm making is a lot of guys, even starting like in 2018 when the first Demon came out, and there have been Demons since, for the next few years, etc. And a lot of guys, they bought them and they put them away, thinking that in the next 5 years, 10 years, they're gonna double or triple their money, and this is gonna be the next big thing. But what's playing out is those cars, so many guys did that. Now they're out there and they're for sale because people get impatient, or they need or want money and they want to put their money somewhere else. I'm going to focus on the Demons and some of the low mileage, rare Hellcats. Boys and girls, those cars are dropping right now, and they're dropping kind of quick.
Really?
It doesn't make them a bad car.
No, right.
Doesn't make them a bad car at all. They're freaking awesome. They're fun to drive. They're still collectible. But if you're one of the people that has one of these cars and you've been on the fence, like if you're thinking of selling it in the next, if it's been on your mind that you're going to sell it, I would say right now time is not your friend. You're either going to have to make a decision to sell that car now and get it before they go lower, or you're going to have to play the long game, which is probably 2 to 5 years. Car guy public service announcement.
Sure. Right.
The Hellcats, the Demons, they're dropping. And that's not to scare anybody or whatever, but that we're absolutely seeing that in the market right now at the big auctions here on the showroom and the retail. They're still selling, they're still popular, but they're not bringing the name your price type of dollars that they were for a while.
And that's because the market is inundated with the cars.
Yes, they're out there. If you put one of those for sale, they're still awesome. But it's not the only one out on the internet anymore, like they were when they first came out, and the market is responding to that.
Well, I get asked because I bring it up all the time. If you're entry level and you want your first car and you want something that's cool, looks great, fun to drive, have that suspension and handling I always talk about that you've probably never experienced, and they ask me, well, why are Corvettes so affordable? And I tell them, they're great cars. The thing is, there's a lot of them out there.
Yep.
Right? And it's kind of along that same line, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Another niche that we're seeing is the baby birds, the 55 to 57 Thunderbirds. Again, outside of a E code or an F code or a specialty one, just your run-of-the-mill driver type T-Bird. Again, that's a fun two-seater, one of the first ones, that was competing with Corvette back in the day and all that stuff. They're great cars. But they're soft. They're, again, everybody that had one in a barn or anybody that had one that was grandpa's car, they all kept them because it was a cool car.
Right.
So again, a 5, 6, 7 T-Bird is cool, but it is not rare.
No.
And you can get one anywhere you want in any sort of price range depending upon condition. And so again, it's one of those cars where they're still selling, they're not climbing, they're not like, oh my gosh, the bottom's falling out, but they're just kind of tailing a little bit, you know. So I just thought we'd touch on a couple. Maybe we make this part of a thing,
I
you know,
like
where we
that,
talk
yeah.
about that, what we're seeing here in the showroom, what we're seeing at the big auctions and in the global marketplace. I monitor that stuff all the time, you know, not just locally, not just us, but regionally, nationally, and globally. I'm constantly watching those markets, just like any other commodity
Right.
that other businesses do. And, you know, that's just a couple that we're seeing right now.
I tell people this all the time. When you see a car and you think it's priced high or priced low, you, because of the inspection and everything that goes through here, you know market value, right? And that's kind of where they're at. It was, I mean, just off topic, he's going to kill us for this, but there was an 85 IROC.
Yes.
That
no,
we had.
it can't be an IROC.
Yeah.
IROC didn't start till 87.
Was it an 88 then that we have back
That's an
there?
85, but it's a Z, but not an IROC.
Oh, it's not. Okay. Well, anyways, that car, everybody, when I put that up, I was like, hey, check this out. And they're like, yeah, that's probably $70,000. I was like, guys.
Is that an offer? No.
I mean, I'm like, guys, that's why, you know, if you're not familiar, log on, uniqueclassiccars.com.
Yeah.
You can see them. And if there's not a price there yet, because we move a lot of inventory, call. There's a misconception that everything in here is close to six figures.
Oh, my gosh.
That is a huge
That's kind
misconception.
of backwards. I mean, are there six-figure cars? Sure.
Yep.
But they're sprinkled in. It's not the majority.
No. And we have, I mean, a fantastic selection of cars. And I'll be honest, a lot of guys are looking for that 30, 40, 50s,
Yep.
you know, right in there. And that's we got a whole row of them.
Exactly.
Right? And they're classic American muscle. Iconic stuff like the cars we looked at today. Well, what was that 57? 29.9?
At the most.
Yeah,
It might even be a little less than that.
Yeah, I knew it was upper 20s, but I was like, that's a great example of
Yeah.
getting what you would consider an iconic car at an affordable price. I like it.
Well, and the thing is, whether you're in a six-figure car or in a $20,000 57 Bolero, you know what you can do in both cars if you're going to drive it?
What?
You can gas it.
Gas it.